The life of Candace Owens, it works like this. I wake up, I stretch, I have a cup of coffee, and then I am served with a lawsuit. I think that's the morning routine, my friends. That is clearly my morning routine. It is so effortless.
I'm Mayor Basshole. I hate America. I love illegals. I will now give them money. I take it from Whitey and give to them.
Good evening, America. Unless you're watching from California, then maybe not so good. Just kidding. Sort of, it's your favorite president, some say the best ever. And tonight, I've got a few things to say. So grab your popcorn, turn off the fake news, and let's talk about what's really going on. It's going to be good, really good.
French President Emmanuel Macron and his wife Brigitte are suing right-wing podcaster and conspiracy theorist Candace Owens. The defamation lawsuit filed today in Delaware claims that Owens has engaged in a, quote, relentless and unjustified smear campaign against the couple. The complaint goes on to allege that Owens spread outrageous conspiracy theories that France's first lady could be a man. That the Macrons are related in committing incest, and that the Macrons, the couple, is being controlled by the CIA. Obviously, those are deranged claims. In response to the filing, Owens posted a screenshot of a news story about the lawsuit on her Instagram page and wrote, "I will be coming for this wig today. Stay tuned."
You were born a man and you will die a man. That's the point I'm making. So give us a sample. I'll send my doctors to take your blood. Figure it out real quick, however you want to go about this. Hey, how about just giving us some pictures again of you growing up, raising your children? That would be fine. For whatever reason, to phone, by the way, like I said, we'll get to the bottom of it, right? That is what Discovery is for. I'm going to ask a lot of questions. You're probably hoping, this will go away and at least we'll say we sued her. We'll say we went after her. She'll probably file for this to get dismissed. I'd like to make it to Discovery. I think that we owe that to the world. Anyways, you guys, we are revolting against this. We're revolting against the perverts that run the world. And I want to be very clear here. I count you among them. I think you're sick. I think you're disgusting. And I am fully prepared to take on this battle on behalf of the entire world. Okay? That's what I'm going to say. On behalf of the entire world, I will see you in court.
And Owens has, of course, a history of all sorts of deranged conspiracy theories and vile anti-Semitic rhetoric. She was temporarily suspended from YouTube for anti-LGBT comments. Joining us now to discuss is Tom Clare, the lawyer for the Macrons, Emmanuel and Brigitte. And we should note that if people recognize you, they might remember you from the Dominion case, suing Fox News for defamation, which resulted in a $787.5 million settlement from Fox, but who's counting? So the lawsuit claims that this has been a year-long campaign by Candace Owens. Why are the Macrons suing now? Like, what changed? Why sue now?
Well, this was really a last resort. We have attempted to engage with her for the last year, putting evidence in front of her, request after request after request, that she just simply do the right thing. This is not a legal thing. Do the right thing, tell the truth, stop spreading these lies. And each time we've done that, she mocked the Macrons. She mocked our efforts to set the record straight. She refused to retract what she had said. She started a merch campaign. She's selling T-shirts mocking and celebrating her defamation of them. And enough is enough. It was time to hold her accountable for this campaign.
I have been in communication with their lawyers or via our lawyers, like their lawyers and my lawyers have been speaking, phone calls, emails since January. She's now named her law firm. I protected that, but now we can tell you it's Claire Locke, okay? Claire Locke is representing Brigitte and Emmanuel Macron, has been in communication with us for months, and yet they did not send us a copy of the lawsuit. They did not give my lawyer a heads up that they were filing a lawsuit.
So your lawsuit alleges, quote, every time the Macrons leave their home, they do so knowing that countless people have heard and many believe these vile fabrications. It is invasive, dehumanizing, and deeply unjust.
when I did the Becoming Brigitte series, because people realized you only have to get one episode into that thing, okay? You realize these are not outlandish allegations. These are not allegations coming from the quote unquote far right or the quote unquote far left. These are not allegations that are coming from deep on a Reddit feed, okay? This is the reality. It is a couple in reality that has been involved in way too many pedophilic scandals, okay? Scandals that are related in some way or another to pedophiles. People that they've worked with, people that they were friends with, artists that they've hired. Things just didn't look right. Then, of course, I invited you guys to recognize that the press in France lied about their origin story. They lied about everything. They tried to present them as some modern couple, telling us that she was so hot, she was Claudia Schiffer, and even though he was 14, she was just irresistible. And then you see this picture, and you're going, what? That's a picture? The hot teacher that the press was trying to sell so people wouldn't question this odd relationship. A person that's 40 being attracted, or alleged to be 40, I actually think Brigitte's older than that, is attracted to a 14-year-old boy. That's disgusting.
Some people out there might think, really, the first couple of France can't leave their home in France without worrying that people believe the deranged nonsense from this American podcaster?
Yeah, what people don't really understand, and a lot of people can go on TV and talk about the president, talk about the first lady, you know, pundits can get on and talk about them, but what people forget is these are human beings. These are a married couple. They have a social life, they have a private life together, they have the same feelings and the same hurt from these sorts of defamatory statements as anybody would. And it does have a material impact on them. It is, you know, it's incredibly upsetting to have this said year after year. And this sort of falsehood is a cancer, and it metastasizes into, obviously, the media, but it also metastasizes into other circles that they're running in. They get asked about it, of course, even in the circles that they run in. They get asked about these campaigns, and they shouldn't have to go through that.
It's pretty horrible. She also engages in Holocaust denial and all sorts of anti-Semitism. She just posted a video reacting to the lawsuit. She calls it a, quote, obvious and desperate public relations strategy. What's your response?
Well, first of all, I'd like to thank her for that reaction to the lawsuit. She's only helping us with our claim for punitive damages by expressing no remorse and obviously doubling down on these falsehoods.
But they did instead opt to give this lawsuit ahead of time to the Financial Times, the New York Times, CBS News. What does that tell you? It's a PR strategy. They don't care if they win. This is about running it through the press. And how much PR are we talking here? Claire Locke, Tom Locke, or Tom Claire, whatever his name is, they actually uploaded the lawsuit to their website, and then they gave CBS News a link to the uploaded lawsuit before I had been served.
But I don't think she's going to feel the same way about this being a public relations stunt after her deposition and after she has to sit for trial.
So you're alleging that Candace Owens made these allegations despite knowing that they were false. I don't know that she knows they're false. I mean, she says a lot of crazy, just completely insane, hateful stuff about Jews, about the Holocaust, about, like, I don't know what she knows to be true or not. She says a lot of lies. How do you know that she's lying as opposed to a deeply disturbed individual? Well, it could be both, of course.
It's one of the reasons why our complaint is 219 pages long. We wanted to lay out exactly that. We wanted to explain to the court, and we wanted to explain to the people that will see our lawsuit how we can prove that she knows it's false. We allege that there's evidence that she knew it was false when she started this campaign over a year ago. She started relying on things she knew was discredited. But then over the past year, when we have put this information directly in front of her, even if you want to give her a pass for the early crazy stuff that she said, after we put facts and information in front of her, black and white, multiple times.
What? Like her, the First Lady's birth certificate? Like what kind of facts?
Yeah, we have laid out extensive evidence in our complaint demonstrating that she was born a woman. She's always been a woman, and the allegations of CIA control conspiracy and the incest and all the other things are demonstrably false.
Before my lawyer was even informed about it, I found out with all of you. I found out with the world. I found out from the Financial Times that I was being sued by the first couple of France. Not normal, guys. And even in the Financial Times, this is what's really funny, despite getting the exclusive on this story, and they must have gotten it yesterday, by the way, they definitely had to have received it at least yesterday, maybe even before then, because I think 3 people worked on the article. So this is not like they were breaking news. It was quite a long article. But even the Financial Times, despite getting the exclusive, they're kind of stating the obvious in the piece. They're like, yeah, this is a pretty steep mountain to scale. This has kind of never been done in the history of the world. Not sure what's up here. Specifically, the article reads, quote, "The suit is a rare case of a serving world's leader personally suing an online influencer over their content." It goes on to read, "The Macrons face a high legal bar since U.S. defamation laws require public figures to show actual malice, meaning the person knew the information was false or had a reckless disregard for the truth." You have to also appreciate that their lawyer told the Financial Times that they're willing to fly to the United States for this lawsuit, right? They are willing to commute to the United States, to Delaware courts, where they filed this. But they were unwilling, for some reason, to allow us to fly to France to interview Brigitte, which we offered to do before we started the series. They were also unwilling to simply answer our yes or no questions that we emailed to them so that we could ascertain facts. We did all of this before we aired the first episode, which makes the opening lines of their lawsuit especially egregious. It's just the audacious, it's like the audacity of the lies that Claire Locke is now telling. This is what they write in their opening complaint. This is Claire Locke, ready? Can you pull up the opening lines where they say that we didn't allow them? Yeah. It says, in March of 2024, Candace, a right-wing podcaster, told the world that she would stake her entire professional reputation on the fact that Brigitte Macron is, in fact, a man, and then goes on to say, rather than engaging with President and Mrs. Macron's attempts to set the record straight, Owens mocked them and used them as additional fodder for her frenzied fan base. Okay, that's very interesting. So now we can just go ahead and show you when they contacted us. Actually, what they said was, she does not have to answer your questions about whether or not she is and always has been a woman. And we went back and told them, no, actually you do. And here are some more questions, and we're willing to sit down for an interview. I actually went into my computer today, found that letter we sent to them, and typed in the word interview to see how many times we mentioned the prospect of flying out to interview them. Again, we sent this letter to them before we ran the first episode of the show. So this was in early January. Let's pull up what we wrote here. Second, my lawyer tells them, your insistence that Mrs. Macron outright refuses to provide evidence of her gender alone creates significant reason to doubt her counsel-filtered denials. As such, Candace is interested in having Mrs. Macron comment on this controversy, and, as detailed below, Candace now extends Mrs. Macron a full opportunity to rebut the allegations at issue here. Should Mrs. Macron decline this opportunity, that fact, too, precludes a claim of actual malice. Okay, we can go on here. Elsewhere in this letter in which we wrote back to them, we wrote here, you state, because they did, that Mrs. Macron, and we quoted them here, does not owe Candace proof that she is and always has been a woman. But you are wrong for several reasons, and your statement on the matter, which we consider to be admissible evidence, precludes your claim of actual malice by itself. Elsewhere, in that exact same letter, as my lawyer just completely obliterated all their arguments, we included a subheading that says, questions for a fair and balanced interview. You guys remember this? These are the famous questions they declined to answer. And you can see I was searching the word interview, which is why it's highlighted in yellow here. It says, as such, we offer any date and time during the months of January, February, and March of 2025. For an interview between Candace and your clients. Candace, her producer, and a videographer will fly to Europe and arrange for a translator and studio in which the Macrons can answer questions. As you know, the first remedy for a defamation plaintiff is mitigation by, quote, using available opportunities to contradict the lie or correct the error and thereby to minimize its adverse impact on reputation. We then listed the questions. To facilitate this interview, we offer the following questions in advance. Okay. We then list all of our questions very Simple questions. Did Brigitte Macron ever use the name Veronique? As an example, number 5, can you identify each child in the Amiens family photograph? Did Brigitte Macron physically give birth to 3 children? I don't know. If I'm trying to avoid being defamed, I would very happily reply, yes, I, Candace Owens, I physically gave birth to 4 children. Okay, elsewhere, we can show you this, how we wrapped up this letter. Here are more of the questions, which you guys are welcome to pause and read in your own time. And then we can show you how we ended it. We urge you to respond to this letter on or before January 23rd, 2025, so we can make arrangements to schedule an interview with the Macrons. We reserve all our clients' rights, claims, and remedies. This letter does not contain a full recitation of the facts underlying this matter. They did not reply to our answers. They did not tell us, yes, we'd like to interview or rebut things and say. They basically just said, she doesn't owe you anything. She's always been a woman. That's not how this works, okay? This is not how this works. You could have easily provided evidence or answered simple yes or no questions, which we would have said was an actual statement coming from you, but you've refused to do that in this context, just like you refused to do it overseas. It's why they overturned the defamation claim that you were holding on to, hoping that this would somehow prove that you weren't born a man, something that is so easy to debunk.
There are a bunch of these hate mongers out there that have been saying the same thing about Michelle Obama, the former First Lady of the United States. Do you think she should sue?
Well, I haven't looked at her claim, but
meanwhile, when it's time to go, you can choose how. You can wait for enforcement, or you can leave on your terms. The CBP Home app lets you self-deport with dignity, directly and securely. Don't wait. Decide how it ends.
We didn't need the National Guard. Why on earth? What are they going to do?
I don't ever slow up. No, I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up. I don't ever slow up. No, I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up. No, I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you
We didn't need the National Guard. Why on earth? What are they going to do? We didn't need the National Guard. Why on earth? What are they going to do?
Get that.
Rico!
Come on, man. Don't go in there, It'll still be here. Come on.
When Gavin Newsom decides to run for president in 2028, remember, this is his state.
coming here for?
I don't live here. I just visit.
Just visit? Mr. Smith there?
Who's that?
We didn't need the National Guard. Why on earth? What are they going to do?
But if you're not happy in the U.S., if you're complaining all the time, very simply, you can leave. You can leave right now. Come back if you want. Don't come back. It's okay too. But if you're not happy, you can leave.
Do you believe deploying the military to conduct law enforcement on U.S. soil is legal?
Look, we have to make certain that we protect American cities. If not for President Trump, Los Angeles would be burning right now. We had 6 ICE agents that were totally in fear of their life because local officials, an incompetent mayor, a grossly incompetent governor, refused to do their job.
Is there anything you would not find acceptable for the U.S. military to do on U.S. soil?
Look, President Trump understands what the Constitution is. He understands what the laws are. We have to protect our cities. We have to protect our ICE agents. We have to protect our federal buildings. And Gavin Newsom should maybe get off Twitter and start actually going down to L.A. and protecting his own citizens.
The courts have ruled on the Guard. They will be back under my command.
A few moments later.
Okay, why is Trump back in control of the National Guard, you guys? What the hell is going on? First I lose my pool boy Roberto, and now this? I seriously need a mani-pedi right now. A bottle of wine, cherry ice cream, and a whole season of Will and Grace. Fuck this politics thingy.
What's actually happening is they're buying voters. That's really what's happening. It's like a giant voter fraud scam. They're importing voters. It's easy to understand if you look at basic incentives. The basic incentive here is the more illegals that the Democrats can bring in, the more likely they are to win. So that's what they're going to do. That's what they have been doing, and it worked in California. California's supermajority Dem. And look at all the companies that are leaving California.
Yeah.
I mean, In-N-Out just announced they're leaving.
Yep.
Their headquarters leaving California.
They're moving to Tennessee.
A 4th day of rallies and protests on the streets of Los Angeles.
It was a peaceful rally. What is going on right now is also peaceful.
Here we are expecting rallies later on.
When they show up, we gotta show up even stronger.
In Los Angeles, there is a new crowd of protesters that has been building.
CNN had it that these were rallies. Now they've become protests. I'm afraid that by tonight they become riots. If we don't have the ability to stand up and stop this violence before it consumes a great city like Los Angeles, then there's no telling where this could spread.
Hardworking, good people, and they're the backbone of our city, and they should have access to all the things that we have access to. And I just don't think they understand that it's a political pawn. I don't think they understand
it's a political game.
This is not done for compassion and kindness.
No.
This is just done to ensure that it stays blue.
Correct.
Yeah, and it's essentially a bribery with your tax dollars.
Yes, this is why the Dems will not even deport criminals.
Yeah.
Because every criminal deported is a lost vote.